Yeah.
Did you did you ever notice that, for instance, like boys acting out with anger and girls acting out with sadness? Like, do you ever notice that some people have more compassion to the sadness than they do the anger?
Yes. Oh yeah, I noticed that. I absolutely, that's something interesting because anger, right? We're taught um, that anger is bad. Um, I noticed that there's this big misconception of anger, that anger is destructive. There's violence, especially like I grew up in a very violent environment. So to me, it took a while for me to understand that anger is not evil. Anger is a, a feeling that we all have. And how can we express in a way that's constructive, healthy, instead of violence? And anger is not all, it's not violence, right? And I noticed that trait of being more, it's easier to be more compassionate with sadness or other emotions than anger because we're afraid of it because of our upbringing.
Yeah, because I noticed. So I used to be an angry little boy, and I've shared it before on this podcast, talking with different individuals. A lot of times, it's guys that have had similar traumas as me, and I used to act out in anger. But at the same time, and the more that I've actually delved into the research, I feel like it's a baby cooing. And since they're actually acting out, they're getting some type of being seen and heard, and a lot of times it's just being shut down. And the I believe young girls at younger ages, they're able to understand their emotions and be able to show their emotions, express their emotions at a young age, which allows them to be nurtured and comfort. Where boys, like anger and happiness, is a lot of times the unfortunately the appropriate emotion, especially when you come from like lower social economics. And curious about your perspective on this next question is, when a boy is getting shut down, when he's angry, he's asking or he's trying to express himself and he's getting shut down with anger because he doesn't know how to appropriate that emotion. Do you believe that also leads into the way that he develops? Like, if he asked for help, would he be shut down because at that time the frustration was actually being shut down?
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because uh, for boys, it sounds like it's a thing you have to resolve it on your own. You have to be strong. Don't ask for help, right? So anger, if you express that anger, I noticed this. This is something from my perspective, at least where I grew up. Anger in boys was actually people. How do I say this? People, my family, the other families, they would brag about it. So if you're an angry person, oh wow, you must be, a man. Like that's a way for you to show your masculinity. At least that was when I grew up. But there are other there of course there's other things involved, like yes, if you express your anger, you're shut down because I have the power. For example, the parent, right? Like I have the power. You're not allowed to express your anger. But I am in a way. So that gets shut down, and the kid, like, there's just two aspects that I noticed, right? Like if you express yourself, you get shut down, and if you act out anger, that's the only emotion you get to have. That
Hmm.
something I noticed.